Let's make 2023 the year that we finally ditch ugly, cheaply made AV racks. I don't know why when it comes to housing thousands of dollars of equipment, a couple of cinder blocks, and some plywood is considered a hack. I mean, you wouldn't buy a Ferrari and park it under a pop-up tent and call it a garage. So, why are we treating our gear this way? Now, before you go saying that being an audiophile or home theater enthusiast is about performance and not style, I'm calling BS, because there is no shortage of comments about a product's looks, especially when you happen to disagree with us, so it would appear that many of you do care. When it comes to housing AV equipment, there's only three things you really need to worry about, well, besides your budget, and that's physical dimensions, weight, and ventilation. I do not lose sleep over things like vibration or isolation because, and trigger warning, most of you, your favorite products were designed to perform at their best, or at least to spec, set on a stable surface using the accessories in the box. I have never bought an amp, a preamp, a source component, or turntable that, according to the manufacturer, required me to also go and buy special feet, a rack, or whatever in order to enjoy the product. In fact, most manuals say to set the product on a stable surface with good ventilation and away from water or smoke, plug it in, and enjoy. Of course, not all products are the same. Some amplifiers, receivers, and turntables, they need more vertical space, either for ventilation or for access. If your amp or turntable are especially important to you, why not display them? Just don't automatically think that you need a dedicated AV rack, and for the love of God, don't put them on the floor. We routinely use coffee tables, benches, and sideboards because they can work just as well as traditional AV furniture while being far more stylish, and in some instances, cheaper. Just make sure that when adapting furniture, you check the weight and dimensions of your gear along with the furniture's restrictions and know that some items may require you to drill holes in the back for your cables. For example, the media racks you see in a lot of our most recent videos. We're using outdoor concrete benches. They rank among the best equipment racks I've ever owned because they can hold an insane amount of weight. They're large enough for any amp or turntable that I've encountered, and they allow for proper ventilation regardless of the component. Plus, they sit low enough that I can mount my TV at the proper viewing height on my wall, and they also work great with ultra short throw projectors. The fact that they hide all of my cables is just icing on the cake. So, if you're okay with displaying your gear out in the open, there are a lot of stylish and functional options similar to ours. Perfect example, Sonoros makes a tempered glass table that has almost the same dimension as our benches, but in a wider variety of finishes. If you're really feeling adventurous, you could pick up 2 or 3 of their matching nightstands instead of the bench and use 1 nightstand per component. Now, Urbanport makes a charcoal gray table that would also work, though you're going to want to make sure that your wire management game is on point. And if you want to go for a more natural or modern farmhouse vibe, these coffee tables will go a long way in helping your equipment blend into your decor. But if you want something a little bit more high-end, check out these concrete coffee tables from West Elm and Williams-Sonoma that will work with everything from an ultra-short throw setup to a simple 2-channel or even multi-channel rig. Just remember to double-check the product's dimension and weight restrictions against your equipment before making your final purchase decision. Now, if you have a smaller system, you can get even more creative. So if you've got a compact amp, streamer, and turntable, you can display them on really cool consoles like this one from Anthropology, because it would be great for a system built around, say, a U-turn and a Name Unity Atom or the new Audiolab 9000A, or if you're on a budget, the Cambridge Audio CXA, anything would really work great on this unique console. But I get it. If you don't want to put your gear out in the open, cabinets or sideboards from companies not typically known for making AV furniture are a great way to go. I know that we've gotten a few of you to consider using media cabinets from brands like BDI, who specialize in high-end office and more decor-friendly AV furniture. Some of their pieces can house all of your gear as well as support a TV. We've used them ourselves and they are great. Just know that this level of specialty furniture is going to cost you, and it's probably going to cost you a little bit more today than it did 2 years ago. While we're on the topic of media cabinets, I know that some say they can support a really large TV, but if you can wall mount your television, do it. Media cabinets are big enough on their own that they can become visually just overwhelming when you start to place equally large objects like a TV on top of them, leaving little room for anything else. So anytime you can wall mount your TV, go for it. But if that's not an option, consider going with a smaller TV than what the cabinet suggests it can hold. So if your cabinet supports, say, a TV up to 75 inches diagonally, don't go bigger than 65 inches. Proportionally, your setup is going to look much better with a 55 or 65-inch display. And doing a quick search for sideboards turned up numerous options that'll totally work for your 2-channel or home theater setup. More budget-friendly options like these, which we're going to link to down below, are all capable of holding source components, amps, and most home theater receivers, with plenty of room for extras like your video games and Blu-ray collection. Now, if you can extend your budget, much like with home audio, the options get even better. We routinely shop online retailers like Anthropologie and Lulu in Georgia who have a more upscale vibe. Using furniture like the Brooks sideboard will allow you to hide your gear, whether it's in a home theater or a 2-channel environment, all while still giving you line of sight for your remote thanks to the cane front panels. If your gear is on the larger side, Anthropologie's Everett slatted buffet is great for a more modern or even more minimalist homes. Its slatted oak front should allow for proper ventilation, and the interior shelf is deep at almost 20 inches. Perfect for those really big amps. So when is it a good idea to use purpose-built AV furniture? Well, for starters, when it comes to mounting TVs, you need to use professional products. I use Kanto's professional mounts and would encourage you to check them out. They're built better than some of the biggest names in the business while costing less. I use them with all of our TVs, and no, this isn't sponsored. I just really trust their mounts. But mounts aside, I think using more industrial or call it pro-style AV equipment racks makes sense when you're able to completely hide them from view. If you have, say, an adjacent room or a closet, using an AV rack with a single HDMI and a couple of speaker cables running out into your room can do away with AV clutter completely. Now, custom installers, they're going to tell you need a middle Atlantic rack for this type of install. Don't listen to them. You can find server racks on Amazon for a fraction of the cost, and yes, these options are going to be just as good. They won't win you any style points, but they are super functional and make gear changes and wire management a breeze. So if you're looking to spruce up your AV setup, please think outside the box. Alternatives like coffee tables and sideboards can transform your room from man cave to a place where people actually want to come and hang out with you. Limiting your search to products marketed as TV stand or home theater cabinet, it's just boring. So next time, treat your gear more like furniture or a living room accessory, and you will be amazed at how much you can broaden your interior design horizons. So I know this has been a little bit of a different video, and before we sign off, anything that you want to add?
I mean, I don't have any additional examples to present. I mean, we collaborated on this video, so the stuff you're seeing in this video, I have contributed to it. So I thought this could be a good way to help some of you who have always asked me, how do I bring my significant other into this hobby? Mm-hmm. A lot of you like to portray me as this like unicorn or something that exists. You can't believe that there's a lady out there that has a similar interest mm-hmm. in music or hi-fi or home theater. Mm-hmm. And I would venture to guess that it's not as uncommon as you might think. I just think that there are barriers to the hobby mm-hmm. That would probably require a whole nother video to address. And if you are looking for a way to include other people in your passion, as it relates to hi-fi and home theater, I think that making your space a more personal, a more inviting one is going to be a great place to start. Yeah. I can remember growing up, like my dad's stereo system was like this, state secret room or location that I, was basically warned not to touch.
Yeah, don't touch the drum set.
Yeah. And it's like, but I want to touch it, like I too like this, and I want to understand it and mm-hmm. be able to play my own music or movies or whatever. And I think that if maybe you people watching, if that's something you find yourself saying to your children or, mm-hmm. maybe step back and say, well, let's sit down and I can talk to you about how this works. So it doesn't feel like this gated, roped off thing that no one else can touch. Take a bit of the mystery out of it. You know, I'm confident most of your kids could probably run circles around you when it comes to tech. So
it's not like you're probably not telling them anything they don't know. They just don't know where it is.
And if you want to find ways to get people, to get the younger generation away from streaming and only listening to things on their headphones and laptops, this is, you know.
You got to go where they are.
Yeah, you got to go where they are. Bring your systems to the places where your family actually hangs out. Rather than keeping it
tucked away
into some far off corner of the house, which perhaps that maybe wasn't your choice. But perhaps had you approached the environment to begin with from a more collaborative effort, bringing your partners into how do we make this look less like a Best Buy showroom, then you would probably find those people in your lives would have a greater interest in your hobby.
Or at least they'd be more flexible in wanting your hobby to be more out in the open. And who knows, maybe that gets you some real estate in a bigger room. And opens the door to things that maybe you're finding you're too confined in your guest bedroom or garage, you know? You never know.
Yeah, so hopefully this video helped you look at things from a different perspective and realize that there are other ways you can organize your gear and display your gear versus the traditional route. That's it.
Nice. So that's it for this video, guys. I know it's a little bit different, but I hope you still stuck with us and liked it, because we really do want to help you guys kind of beautify your systems, or at least make them presentable. We want to bring more people into this hobby, and we think 2023 is the perfect year for doing that. Plus, we can't just beat you over the head with reviews every single week. Some of you have even noticed it's like, hey, what do I do with what I got? Here's a great video for you. And if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And go ahead and ring that bell so that you're notified when new videos come out. This is apparently really important, because more and more of you are coming in the comments saying that you're missing our videos that we publish every Thursday and Sunday. And I have a feeling you're going to need to turn on notifications to make sure, or force YouTube to tell you when we release a new video. So go ahead and do that. If you use any of the links that Christy left for you down below, know that that is a great way that you have continued to show your support for this channel and the work that we do here. And both of us thank you very much for doing that. Follow me on Instagram at Recovering Audiophile, where I share all sorts of just alternative stuff. So if you ever want to know more about what's going on behind the scenes, go ahead and check us out over on Instagram. And that's it. So remember, the only person who has to like the sound of your system is you. So happy listening, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. See you on the next video. Bye.